Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. And the thing is, I don't make videos like this, but I wanted to talk about 15 facts you guys didn't know about the Street Fighter series. And usually I do gameplays on here, and the thing I will say is that even though this is a Street Fighter YouTube channel, there's going to be times on this channel I'm not really going to be talking about Street Fighter that much. But because I wanted to do something different this time, I wanted to do something different. So with that out of the way, let's get started. Number 1. The very first Street Fighter game originally came out in 1987 in the arcades. The series is still going on till this day with sequels, crossovers, and spin-offs. Just recent, Street Fighter 6 has been released, and as of making this video, the game has been released for 2 days now. And no, I unfortunately don't have the game, but I will eventually get it, and I will do gameplays on this channel. Number 2. After the success of the very first Street Fighter game in 1987, Capcom wanted to make a true sequel to Street Fighter, and at first they thought of a beat-em-up game, which was called Street Fighter 89, later retitling it to Final Fight. Final Fight would eventually become its own series, and Capcom wanted a true sequel. So Capcom finally decided to make Street Fighter II: The World Warrior, which was released on arcades on February 6, 1991. Number 3. Both the Street Fighter series and Final Fight series actually take place in the same universe. That's why characters from the Final Fight series, along with stages from Final Fight, would end up appearing in the Street Fighter series. Number 4. The 3 main bosses in Street Fighter 2 were changed outside of Japan, and this all started with the boxer named M. Bison. Originally, he was meant to be a parody of the heavyweight boxer Mike Tyson, but Capcom was afraid they were going to get sued from the boxer himself, so they decided to rename 3 of the main boss characters. In Japan, the Spanish claw fighter Balrog was renamed to Vega outside of Japan. The main villain Vega was renamed to M. Bison outside of Japan, and the boxer M. Bison was renamed to Balrog. Number 5. Originally, the character Charlie Nash was originally named Nash, and the reason why he was changed to Charlie outside of Japan was because Capcom thought the name Nash didn't sound like an American name, especially for a US soldier's name. But it wasn't until Street Fighter 4 when they started calling him Charlie Nash. That's when they decided to finally name him Charlie Nash. And if you play Street Fighter 5, if you either want to play him or fight him, he's just called Nash everywhere else. Number 6. Chun-Li was the first female fighter in the Street Fighter series. The second female fighter was Cammy. Number 7. Sakura first made her Street Fighter debut in Street Fighter Alpha 2. Number 8. Originally, Street Fighter 3 New Generation was originally going to be the first Street Fighter game without Ryu and Ken, and the character Alex was going to be the new protagonist of the game. However, after Capcom announced that Ryu and Ken wouldn't be in the game, Street Fighter fans immediately complained, saying that the game wouldn't be good without Ryu and Ken, so Capcom immediately put Ryu and Ken into the game. Number 9. There was a live-action Street Fighter movie released in 1994. The movie stars Jean-Claude Van Damme as Guile, Raul Julia, who was best known as Gomez Addams in the Addams Family, as M. Bison, Ming-Na Wen as Chun-Li, Byron Mann as Ryu, and Damian Chapa, who was best known for playing Miklo in the Chicano classic Blood In, Blood Out, as Ken Masters. Number 10. There was a anime Street Fighter movie which was released the same year the live-action movie came out. And this is actually a really good movie. I recommend you guys to watch it. It's a really good movie and a good video game adaptation. Number 11. The main reason why Ken was given the last name Masters was because back in the 90s, Street Fighter was blowing into popularity, and Capcom gave Hasbro like full permission to use the Street Fighter characters to promote in their G.I. Joe toy line. However, Hasbro wanted to avoid confusion with Mattel's Barbie with their Ken toy line with Hasbro's Ken for the Street Fighter toy line. They gave Ken the last name Master, and because of that, Ken was finally known as Ken Masters. Number 12. Street Fighter actually has done crossovers with Marvel. The first crossover they did was X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Their second crossover with Marvel was Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. And the next crossover would eventually become its own series called Marvel vs. Capcom, which the series is still going on till this day. Number 13. The only time Ken appeared with Ryu in the Marvel vs. Capcom series was Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Number 14. In the live-action movie, it was said that the character Blanka is Charlie Nash's character, and in the movie, it's implied that he was actually named Carlos and that Bison kidnapped him and turned him into Blanka, even though in the Street Fighter games, Blanka does have a canon name, and his name is Jimmy. But overall, like, it's just Blanka. Like, the movie really fucked up bad for that. And finally, on number 15, if you really want to play the Street Fighter games in like the story on like when like where the story takes place, like the story correct order, I got you. For each games for the story mode in like the order, even though like it has many releases. So if you guys want to play like the stories for like each of the games, play the first Street Fighter game, and then after the first game, then play the Alpha series. And then after the Alpha series, that's when you could play Street Fighter 2. Even it doesn't matter what version of Street Fighter 2 you're playing, Hyper Fighting, Turbo, it doesn't matter. Then after Street Fighter 2, that's when you play Street Fighter 4. And then after Street Fighter 4, it's Street Fighter 5. And then after Street Fighter 5, it's Street Fighter 3. And there we go. That's a wrap for the facts about Street Fighter we did in this video. Comment below if you want me to do more facts about Street Fighter, and make sure to subscribe to my channel, like my video, and comment that you subscribe to my channel. Anyways, thank you for watching, and see you guys in the next video. Peace.